Riders, welcome back to the Rusted Bust. I'm your host, Em, and that's our other host, Mick. Today, we're just going to be talking about our thoughts on reincarnation and like spooky dreams and stuff. I'm going to start with talking about this YouTube video I had seen the other day called like Edgar Cayce. Like KS, you think? Okay, how do you pronounce it? Like,
Cayce.
well,
Cass?
Chaos? Case?
Chaos.
Well, it's like Edgar Case, your soul knows how you will die and why it chose that way. I found this YouTube video like the other night, and it's only a 19-minute long video. So I will link it in the description below if you'd like to watch it. And it talks about reincarnation, about how when we pass on, our souls kind of move to the other side and meet up with other souls in our life, and all together we plan out our next life, and the whole purpose is to have your soul become enlightened, to learn lessons each time. Yeah. I thought it was very interesting because I honestly really deeply feel that is the truth. I know, like, I'm very open to like anything. Being to all the types of like different religions and stuff. I'm pretty open about listening to it. But me personally, in my soul and my heart and stuff, I feel this like connection or like yearning towards this type
Like certain
of
people.
belief. I feel like to this belief, I feel like drawn to it. Like the deja vu, like
Yeah.
you're talking about, like the whole everything about reincarnation kind of like clicks a light bulb in my head. It makes sense. That's the best way I can put it. And this whole video was pretty entertaining, and it talks about it goes in pretty deeply on how like on reincarnation and how you usually choose your life, everything up to like how you will die before, and people it's supposed to bring relief to people to know
I was actually just gonna say
that.
that. I do like the idea that I possibly could have chose this life.
And your
So
death. So
yeah.
the bottom
It
line is
gives me
there's no
relief that, like, maybe I'm not wasting my time. Maybe this is what I planned out
there's something for you to
before.
learn. Yes. Uh it literally says
Yeah.
something about that in the video too, about someone who feels like they might just be like moving nowhere, wasting, at least it said it
Yeah.
somewhere, about if you feel like you're moving nowhere, wasting, that is like there's a
Like
lesson
maybe
for
I
your
just planned
soul.
for that.
And plus part of life is to just live it. To
Yes,
not
very
just like
true.
not about accomplishing things or surviving it. It's about living it and experiencing it. Um and it's supposed to also bring into anxiety for people like me. I honestly have really bad anxiety about becoming ill or getting in an accident or all the scary things that can happen. And it's supposed to bring
Yeah.
relief that like nothing will change. Like your end is already planned. There's
That you
nothing
planned it. Yeah,
there's
you planned it.
nothing, but it's supposed to give you like relief, and like there's no point in like panicking and have anxiety over it, something you can't change and it's already pre-planned. So just kind of enjoy, like live. That was the whole purpose. That was mentioned in that video a lot too, about supposed to give people relief to just live and enjoy life. It did go into talking about like really hard topics, like, well, what about, you know, people who lose children and like children that pass? That's just tragically sad. Why
Hardships
would
and
a
everything.
soul choose to end so early? Especially in such horrific way, because there's, if anyone who watches true crime and or the news,
Yeah.
that there's some pretty horrific ways to go, and no one, you wouldn't, it doesn't make sense. Like thinking that anyone would choose that just kind of makes you sick to your stomach in a way. Like it doesn't sit right. But in the video, its explanation was along the lines of usually it's older souls who have learned a lot and are choosing to help other souls learn something. So they choose the shorter life to lose it gave an
To give
example
yeah,
of a woman
to
who
give someone
lost,
else a hardship that they
yeah,
have to
to
overcome.
which will direct their life. It kind of like there's an example of a woman who lost her child, but they said her child was actually a teacher in her previous life. Like in the woman's previous life, she had a teacher, and in this life, that teacher became supposed to be reincarnated as her child, and to teach her a lesson. To be like, ironically enough, to still teach, because like, the child, like I think, passed early to illness or something, and it was supposed to teach. It was supposed to help her the soul kind of transform. It just seems because like it's easy to say all this, but like if it were to happen, like to me
Yeah.
personally, I know I'd be absolutely torn. I don't think I'd feel like life is over, like completely over. I know, like in that case, it said about like that person ended up leading the way to opening a like grief support group for all types of women, and had this end up becoming,
Mhm.
it's just making this organization out of it. Like it was it was like a stepping stone. And I almost seems horrible to say that like that, but like a stone in
No,
that
I mean,
person's path
it's a
to what
hurdle.
their life where their life was meant to go, what they were meant to
Yeah.
be. But it is hard to
Yeah,
swallow at times.
sometimes humans need a hurdle or a push to move forward properly, and that like you said, it's probably what they're doing is teaching that person, giving them a hurdle to overcome so they can become something more than what they were.
Yeah, it's just hard to swallow sometimes. Like it's just so uh like I said, I'm thinking it's easy to kind of make it make sense and be like, okay, but when you think in the
When you go
moment,
through it,
when you
yeah,
get
like when
going
you have
through
someone
any
that
of
goes
it,
through it,
anybody who's experienced
you
grief,
don't
like
think about like, oh, well, this is just a hurdle. You don't think about it. That's like the last thing you think about. It's just you have to face it head on with grief and with anger
and
and
it
with
never
hatred,
feels
and
fair.
you just have yeah, you just have to do your best to overcome it. And I mean, that's all you can do. It's either overcome it or just give up when it comes to stuff like that.
Kind of like you were saying, like about our friend who passed away in an accident early, and it's like, uh, that probably that incident changed a lot of lives, like the trajectory of our lives. Like it changed it for us because she introduced us to each other, and we found out we were cousins through her because of her and all that. But we actually did not start talking or
No,
hanging out
I
still
I
till
could probably
after.
I could probably say without a doubt, I don't think I would have talked to you that
Oh,
much
you're
if
so
they were still
nice.
alive. I mean,
Well, I'm not
like I
sure
would
why.
have,
We just had our own lives already. I think
yeah.
we were just
Like I,
already kind of. It wasn't until she passed, and then we were, at the viewing, then a funeral, and then she had a roadside memorial, and that's where we started meeting up to
mhm,
hang out and just talk about her, to remember her, and it was through those meetings where we just became like really close.
yeah,
Like best friends through that. And like you said, that you had said it like a long time ago before, and we're like, I don't even know like if we would have been able to be as close as we are to where we have a YouTube channel together at this day and age,
exactly.
if it wasn't for the way things happened. But it also at the same time we say how unfair it feels. How unfair it feels that we had to lose her, that she doesn't get to be here with us on a
Yeah,
YouTube channel or something, that she doesn't get to. It's like I said, it's us where I say it's a kind of hard to swallow. Like the stuff makes sense in a way, it all does, but at the same time, it doesn't make it any easier. I don't
yeah.
think
It's never gonna feel fair.
to think that people, oh, it's supposed to make it easier, but to think that, oh, well, their soul chose this and knew it. But it's like, it's not. It doesn't feel any easier because
Yeah,
even though our souls might have chosen something, like when we're in the life experiencing it, we don't know that. We don't, like, you feel it as the end, like the things when we are faced with grave things, it feels like the end. Like, and it doesn't, sometimes it
yeah,
doesn't feel like there is an after. Like, it's really intense. So that's why I'm like, I don't know. It doesn't really make it much easier. Like, for me, maybe it's just kind of a very
it feel
anxious person,
it
very.
feels when going through stuff like that, it feels unfair enough that it like really does shake your spiritual beliefs. it really makes you like second guess a lot of stuff, and like what God would exist that would allow that to happen, or why would any like entity allow that to happen? It really does shake your beliefs.
Yeah, I think that
And
all the time when especially the younger the child, like, when it comes to children particularly, like, the younger they are, the more, uh the more, like, yeah, I question where you said, like, "Well, what God would allow this to happen to somebody?" And when you and now we're thinking, well, okay, if it's just like reincarnation and we're not necessarily talking about God and the video doesn't really talk about gods being involved, like, so it doesn't it just talks about just souls like us knowing what to do
yeah,
um but even like when it comes down like a soul choosing that again, like I just can't like it doesn't make it any easier. I'm like, whereas like, well, what why? I know it's supposed to help us but grow, other people grow, but at the same time, and I've also seen it worded before. I don't know if it was in that video or somewhere else where I think it was in that video where it said the life really isn't about like good or bad, like things that seem really tragic or it's all life's all about balance. Our souls or apparently
yeah.
our souls long for balance. Our souls don't we're not looking to
That's a
be all
very
good or all bad. We're looking for a perfect balance of like the good and the bad and
yeah.
this
It's very like Buddhism or Kabbalah. Like they kind of that's how they go with. It's just about balance. Like you, if you're gonna have good, there has to be bad. The more light you have, the bigger the shadow it's gonna cast. And so like no matter what, it has to be balance. And that they see it like that's your trials, that's your tribulations, and you have to be able to be okay with it that these things are going to happen.
yeah, it is very hard. I don't know if it's just even as a spiritual person who like I said I do kind of
Yeah,
believe in reincarnation and all that stuff does make sense. It doesn't stop it from like hurting
hurting.
to think about like like I said like it we knew that because of Bridget it's we are here creating stuff but at the same time like it didn't stop us from also being like well this would we give
Yeah,
up our friendship to have her back like to let her have her life like the same most people I think most people who've accomplished something, even as someone who's accomplished something big after grief, like let's go back to that example about the mom and be like, well, she established this whole grief network for other parents, and it was a very big thing, a big positive change for her, and that's what she was meant. But it's like I feel like if in the still in this lifetime for that soul, if they were asked, oh, would you give all that up to go back and not lose your child? You know, I think everyone would be like, yes.
yeah.
Ironically enough, or I don't selfishly enough, or I don't know how exactly to describe it, but I
But
think we would
but
all
see
like give up the
that's
changes to have
also
people back.
like that comes back around to balance because now you're disturbing the balance of it. Now you're
Yeah.
taking away that light that was casted by the shadow, and you're taking that back. So you now this is in Buddhism and Kabbalah. In their sense, you failed. You failed the trial because you would give up all that you succeeded in for that life to come back. In their eyes, you would have failed. But there's actually a movie that kind of teeters on that premise. I'm trying to find it real quick.
I was gonna say, there's been lots of writings. I mean, there's been lots of like futuristic writings about going people who go there's as old like for a long time. There's all types of books and movies. I'm pretty sure about people who go back in time and you try to change something, and it ends up causing like much worse or equally worse, or you know, like Back to the Future. It didn't I can't. My dad used to watch it all the time. I don't really remember much, but isn't it? He goes back and changes things, and then when he comes
I,
back,
yeah, I,
things are
no, I think he becomes his own grandpa.
like things aren't. But I thought things definitely changed, not in the way that you expect. You think you change something for
Yeah,
the better, and then you come back and you're it's like, oh, what the? This is awful. I want it to go back to how it was before I change things. That's usually the premise in all of these, where people change and they're like, I need things to go back to how it was before I change things. This has made everything so much
yeah,
more.
like the butterfly effect. That was one of the movies that like he tries to change the past and it messes up the whole future and everything. Um, the one that I was talking about is called The Dark Song. It kind of delves into like Kabbalah, and in the sense of you have to go because she lost her child, and he was only like I think 5. He was like a child, and
Can't do that
she
to me.
she found out that through this ritual she can get a chance to get him back, and she finds this guide, and they never state what religion it is, but the practices and the rituals they do is very Kabbalah, and in there, like she pretty much she gets scared because one of the parts of it is you have to like I want to say like the underworld, but it's not really the underworld. It's just like the shadow of the light that was being casted. There's creatures in those shadows that want you to fail. They want you to mess up. They want you to not succeed. And she saw them, and so because of that, she ran away and she was scared. And then she came back, and through it, she was able to meet her guardian angel, which is like the what the premise of the ritual is supposed to be. It's supposed to give you your guardian angel, and it pretty much it showed her that this this was her choice. Was do you want a way to move forward, or do you want your child? And the child was very much like in the shadow already, because stating the fact that that's leads to failure. If you go for your child, you'll never move forward. You're not moving forward. You're not going to become any better person. You are going back to the past. You're losing everything that you would become. You're losing it. And that it's a good movie. It's worth watching. It's a crazy trip. It really is wild, but it's worth a watch because that's kind of what it talks about is like the balance of things and like the sacrifices you have to make to become something more than what you are now.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's some like anime out there that touched that tub so
Oh,
which
I'm
it's
sure
always the
there's
same.
many
It's
types
always
of
the same
media that like
where
go over the same thing.
it's always the same with the child when it comes to a child, where it was just like, oh, they can choose to be with their child, but it was just like an illusion. Or I remember
Uh
watching
huh.
something where it was like, oh, this is just an illusion, though. It's not real, but they choose to stay there, stay trapped in this illusion to be with their child. Or did you
Silent Hill.
like?
Silent Hill. The movie kind of did that.
I think the Silent Hill Lost Memories, is that what that one's so old? It was one of the first Silent Hills I played. The Frozen Memories, where
Frozen
you're going
memories.
through the snow and but you're
That
looking for your
yeah, that was
daughter the whole time. I
it was
think
that was the opposite. That
that
was
was
where
the
you were the daughter and you were remembering your father, that he was like this really great, amazing man. But in truth, as you go through the game, you find out that he wasn't a good guy and that you have to let him go. And you were just living in this illusion of who
see
he
all of that
was.
stuff is just so painful. It is painful when I think about it. Like I said, especially when it comes to children. Anyone out there who's a parent would
Yeah.
know. Um, like I said, it's really, really, really difficult to choose to move on. Like from that. Like I said, my mind with things I think about it all the time. What would I do? And it's like I don't know how.
Same.
I,
I
I, I don't
I
think.
dread the day where I have to go through any type of grief. Like thinking about my parents and knowing that one day they ain't gonna be here.
I think about that
And
often too because I still have both my
exactly.
parents.
Like I
Because
have I have no idea how I'm gonna get over that.
I have both my
No
parents,
idea.
but my husband doesn't have either of his, and he hasn't had them since he was like early 20s, like late teens, early 20s. He lost his mom to breast cancer when, um, very early, like, very early 20s. And before that, he had lost his dad on a bike accident, hit by a car.
Mm,
But he didn't have too much grief for his dad because his dad never was around for his dad was in a
yeah.
whole other state when it happened with a whole new family. That kind he was never around for him. but like his mom, it hurt him deeply, and he was only. Can you imagine if you lost him and you were suddenly no parents at
No.
early 20s?
No.
That's what I think about a lot. Like I'm like, I don't know. I don't
But
know how
but I
I
will
would take.
say,
I had a
like,
dream. Talking
not to
about dreams.
hold on,
Yeah, I'm gonna
save
hold
that
it.
thought. But that's what I was
Mm.
talking about, how like the shadow and light, not to like, cast any shadow on like that part of his life. But now he's a father, now he's married. So obviously he moved forward. He came out of that darkness.
He still misses his mom a lot. When he
Of
graduated
course. The grief
college,
never goes away.
when he got his bachelor's, I put his mom's photo on his cap when he
Mm,
just a couple months ago.
yeah,
And I
you never
wish I
get
could
over the
have.
grief.
Let's see, like we have Clay, and it's like I wish I could have met her, and everyone that I've talked to, his family said that she would have loved him. That would, Clay would be
Yeah.
his grandma that never gets to meet. But if you think about things in that spiritual way, I do believe because I lost my cousin Kayla, like I said, when she was only like 17, and she was like 4 years younger than me, 4 or 5 years, 5 years. So she was gone before I had Clay as well. But there's something I had a dream when we were talking about dreams. I One of the
Hmm.
times I'd seen Kayla was, I think shortly before Clay was born, and I remember confiding in her about my fears and stuff about, like we just said, losing a child because her mom had to go. I was kind of relating on stuff like she was
Yeah.
passed as technically still a child, and I was like, I don't know how I would do that. And plus, like, and Patricia, uh, passed at another like family member. Like I said, that was lost to SIDS, that's only 3 months old, and I was afraid of that, terrified of SIDS and stuff because there's that was in the family, and that freaked me out.
Yeah.
I remember her coming to me in a dream, and I confided all that into her, and I in a way I felt like she had met Clay on the other
Hmm.
side before he came. Like getting to trying to get through my word vomit, and stuttering, that I'm getting to the point. I felt like if she had met Clay, then maybe like Brian's mom had already met like his soul, and like
Hmm.
knew that he was going to be her grandson, and like and possibly still watches over him
Yeah.
even though he doesn't get a chance to meet her. But I mean, I said maybe he already did, just not
Yeah.
in this
Yeah. I
lifetime.
mean,
But
that's how I was like when my I think I was still a child, so I don't remember it at all. I think when I was like 4, my dad's mom died. And so I don't remember her at all, but from all the stories and everything, I really wish I could have met her. And my mom always tells me how much that, like, she loved seeing me and everything. And like you said, I feel like when my time is over here, I'll probably meet her. I feel like she's probably going to be one of the ones waiting for me,
I do
and I
think
won't recognize her at first.
I was told before that on the other side, like on the other side of the veil, where like souls mostly reside, whether people believe that's heaven or in an alternate universe or wherever that is, I was always kind of told that time moves differently there, that it actually goes much faster. So for them to wait is like nothing to them.
Yeah.
Like for waiting for everyone to meet up. And that's why souls usually do meet up before reincarnating again. But going back to like what you said before I lose the thought for good about
Uh
the
huh.
parents,
Yep.
is I did have a dream like not that long ago that I lost my dad, and it scared me like
Yeah,
shitless.
that sounds
I was
terrifying.
so scared. But the thing, it was in such a goofy way, like the way dreams do. Like it
Yeah.
was like something like, oh, there was like a storm and he was running with the freaking like electricity pole, like something completely unrealistic,
Yeah.
and then and, stuff like that. It was something silly like that, and then, he did electricity shock the pole, and just this huge pole, and then I was like, "No, no, Papa!" And that whole type of dream, and then I remember waking up, and I woke up because my phone vibrated, and I almost, like, shit the bed, because it was in the middle of the night, and I thought it was a phone call. I thought it was a phone call in the middle that I was waking
Oh
up.
my god.
You could see why that's terrifying.
Yeah.
I forgot what it was. It was some sort of spam thing, but I remember, like, I had, like, immediately cold
Of
sweats and
course.
stuff, and I was like, "Oh, Jesus." 'Cause then I had to text my mom the next morning about it, and then she was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry you had a dream like that." And, like, because I was like, I thought for sure that she was calling me for a second and was about to say that something happened, like,
Mm,
and I was
mhm.
but thankfully the dream was, like, kind of like a silly, like, goofy, and that's the only thing that brings me I was like, "'Cause, okay, that wasn't very, like, any deja vu, that was, like, impossible weird." Maybe it was just showing maybe that was just if we're gonna talk about dreams being a way of helping your brain cope with difficult maybe that was that your fear where you're
Yeah,
like you when you think of the fear of losing your parents, and I think I was thinking about that like the night either that night or the night before. I think I was thinking about what I would do if I lost a parent, and I think
yeah.
that might be why. So we're going to say that is why I had a dream like that. That was
Yeah,
my brain
probably just
trying
like
to
your brain's
yeah,
way of just making it
uh,
silly, telling you like, "Hey, you still have a lot of time. Don't think about that right
or just
now."
like as a way of my way of like my brain's way of showing me that that is a real fear of mine being and but
Letting
just
you,
waking
like,
a
process
yeah
it.
yeah a way of processing the fear yeah being like oh yeah you just that would be make again tell people you love them spend good time with them and just because you never know when like so
Yeah,
so just waking up if I woke up normally that'd be one thing I'd probably still would have woke up in like in a cold sweat type of thing deal when you're like oh
but waking
like
up to the
but
phone
yes waking up in the middle of it was the middle of the night to my phone vibrating I thought it was a phone call like in the middle of the night like
absolutely
it
terrifying.
wasn't even like an alarm
I
it
would have
was
thought the same thing too.
I was so scared like yeah I had a heart attack and when I flipped the phone over like I forget what it was I forget I think it was like some sort of spam thing, but like normally, like my phone never does that, you know. I,
Yeah,
so my first thought was, oh, that's a phone call, maybe from my mom, and I am so glad it wasn't. Like I said, I immediately texted her for right after that, being like, I just woke up, I can't go back to sleep now, my night's effed. Uh, yeah, that was that's all I got to talk about for now. Like
yeah.
that was
I remember us bringing up a few of like the reincarnation like cases that were actually
oh
studied,
yes, I should
and
have wrote it down.
I mean, I found a few of them. There was one in India talking about how I think this might have been the one we were talking about, where it was a 6-year-old and he he could specifically remember being with his wife, and the wife was still alive, and they met up and everything, and like she said that she could see it in his eyes. She could see her husband,
Well, and
and like
the facts that he told her were
yeah, and
things
then
that
like everything
only
that
her husband would have known.
he was telling her was things that only he could have known.
That makes it those type of stories are they just reinforce for me that I really do think there's something about reincarnation. I'm not exactly sure if the whole like your soul choosing everything of all that is true just yet, but reincarnation by itself, I really feel super strongly that it's a thing.
Same.
And I
My my parents swear. My parents and I think even like some of my uncles swear up and down that one of my past life was a cat. They swear it
I think
because
most
when I was
people
younger, I did a lot of cat-like things. I would mo- I was a very cringy little kid doing cat things,
I
and
think most people have had some sort of animal in a past life, or maybe
yeah.
a spirit guide. Maybe you just had a cat as a spirit guide, and you could see it.
I actually had a dream. I remember it pretty vividly where I I was out of my body. I didn't know it yet, but I was like running around and I was really close to the ground and I jumped up on the window and as I looked back behind me I could see my body, my me sleeping and I realized that I was a cat. Like I was in the window still as a cat.
That's fun. That's reminds me of a few dreams I've had where I was like flying. I felt kind of out of body ish. But I don't know if don't know if I've ever, like, seen myself did you see yourself sleeping?
Yeah,
And you were the cat.
I
Okay, yeah.
I didn't know that I was out of my body until I jumped up on the windowsill, and then when I looked back in the room, I saw me sleeping, and I looked down and I saw that I had, like, a cat body and everything.
And there was another story that I saw recently about another kid that said they had a past life as a pilot.
I'm looking at it right now.
Oh, you
I'm
found
looking
it
at it right
too?
now,
Because
yep.
that was one of the more
Um,
recent ones I heard
he was
of.
he was in Louisiana, and he had severe nightmares of being trapped in a burning plane, and he claimed that he was in World War II as a fighter pilot named
Yeah.
James
Hud
M. Houston.
Yep.
Yeah,
Hudson or James
and
Hudson Houston
yep, and they did research on it, and they found
Hudson
out that that
Jr.
was a real person, and they died in
Well,
a plane crash.
James Hudson Jr.'s sister, older sister, was still alive, and this family of the child, they contact or they I think they sent a letter to the sister, and she I think she like they got in contact, and she confirmed, just much like the other story where
Mhm.
the the wife from the past life was still alive and came and was like, "Oh, I really do think that's my ex-husband's soul." Like this the same thing happened in this story, but it was the pilot's sister. She was still alive, and she met with the child, and she was just like, I think, and apparently he knew like their nicknames, like as their sibling nicknames and stuff.
Yeah.
That only that, and it was the same situation where she was like, I do believe this was my brother reincarnated. Like this is his soul. Um,
And that honestly does go back to, like, the video you were talking about and how, like, your past life in the afterlife plans this life that you're living now, and that could be what it is. It could be like, just like the remnants of the afterlife when you were planning this out in the afterlife, just the remnants of it kind of seeping through.
I do wonder
Because we mentioned we
I wonder what it is about why some it seems very rare. Like it's usually for young children, like you
and
said, but it
I
also
was also
seems
gonna
super
say
rare to remember your past life.
it also seems like it's always children. Like, once they get older, it's gone.
Yeah, and
Like,
most
it
that's what we
always
said
seems like
last
once
time.
once they reach, like, 18 or, like, in their 20s, they it's gone. They don't even think about it, don't even, like, process it at all.
This one though, the James Leininger, the boy who who remembers being the World War II
Uh-huh.
pilot.
He
But
was a pirate!
the high school. This one says he's a high school student. Claims he was World War II pirates pilot. I keep saying pirate. Gosh, pilot.
You really want him to be a pirate.
This was as a pilot. So maybe it sounds like this particular kid still remembers as a high schooler now. I'd have to watch the video. I don't really want to play it and like gonna mess up the recording.
Yeah.
But um it did start when he was a kid though. Because it said that he would use technical terms like drop tank instead of bomb and stuff as a toddler, things that he shouldn't know and stuff.
Yeah, that there's
Um
no way he would have known.
yeah, he was able to describe exactly like how he died and which the military he was able to describe all of that stuff like with accurate details as a toddler. Like there's I don't know. And the apparently the skeptical view, critics and researchers suggest the boy's knowledge may have come from normal environmental exposure to flight museums or documentaries and was unintentionally questioning by family rather than actual incarnate. But I don't know because he met pretty sure this is the same story where he met with the older
Mhm.
the sister his past life sister pretty much, and she also confirmed, yeah, this boy feels like my brother and knows things that only my brother would have known. The
Yeah.
same type of deal. So, but I'm just saying because the latest video posted about this specific case was this year, and it says high school student claims he was World War II pilot. So maybe this is one of those even rarer instances where like they even remember when they're an adult.
Yeah.
I'm
I know,
just still laugh. Was that part of the plan? That's what I wanted to say. Was that part of the plan to remember? Or is that like an oopsie, something spilled through?
That's what I feel. I feel like it's not like a oopsie. I feel like it's just that's kind of how it happens. Like you can't like going from one life into another. I feel like there's going to always be energy that is stuck with you because
Oh yeah,
I
the
feel
stuff
that
sticks with you.
like
But
souls are just energy. Like we're just like this staticky like mess of like our conscious and our thoughts and everything. So I feel like even going into the next life, it's just gonna stick with you. You can't get rid of that
stuff
energy.
definitely sticks with you when it's supposed to, because those are supposed to be the lessons that your soul learns. And if you just, completely forgot the sensation, or like, then your soul, I guess, like,
Yeah,
didn't learn it. But because even that video that we referenced at the beginning of this, but that talks about reincarnation and stuff, it does say that if you have fears of specific things like dying in a fire or drowning, or like very specific
from your past
nightmares and stuff,
life.
they suggest it's an experience you've had in the past. Yes.
Oh,
Me and
that's
Brian
terrifying.
talk. Sometimes they've said that about birthmarks. It doesn't say that in that video, but it was something
Hmm.
that I've always talked about with people. Is sometimes we thought birthmarks were a sign of
I heard
something,
that. I heard that
and
like
markings.
birthmarks could be where you died at. Like that's the spot that was like
I
fatal
I
to
have a
you.
few that are very questionable. I do have one on my elbow that's always been there, and it looks like a broken heart. And even my
Oh,
mom agrees it looks like a broken heart. So I wonder what that one's about. But here lately, I got like a freckle. I don't think it's gonna show up on the camera because of the lighting. But I got
barely.
a freckle mole. It's, you can kind of, yeah, barely see it, but it's very noticeable in person, and it's right there in the dead center. I don't know,
Oh
like
no.
it.
Oh no.
No, no, because even my husband has noticed, and he was like, "That wasn't always there, and it just showed up recently." And then that made me think, like, is there either a past life, or people there, for people out there who believe in like the multiverse, like dimensional? That stuff hurts my
That
brain too
yeah.
much.
The
The
the sixth dimension
that
that
they're
you are like this
Yes, that we were all
layers of
that
all different
all of
timelines.
our lives are happening at the same exact time. Yeah, that type
Yeah,
of
that's
thing.
that's the sixth dimension.
So it recently appeared, and it's right here. It's like the dead center right there, and I'm like, that is such an eerie and kind of creepy place for for a mole to show up. It's like
It
a
is.
perfect round, just like flat. Like, they call them a mole because they're so dark and I guess big instead of freckle, but it's flat, and it's just perfectly round and dead center of my neck. The lighting's so bad in here, but it's like right there, and I was like, and
Yeah.
it only showed up in the last like 2 years, and I'm like, so is this suggesting that at that age? This age, like in either a past life or like I said, consecutive life somewhere. One of me like
Yeah. Like one of them just got like something in
off.
the neck.
Yeah, like are I don't know what we're allowed to say in YouTube, and I don't want to be all like
Yeah.
morbid and gross and
Yeah.
dark,
I
or but
I
it's
don't know if I
like,
have any
yeah.
new ones, but I know I have one that's like right in the center of my chest and it's pretty small, but like I will say it's probably about a bullet size. I will say it's about bullet size. The only other one I have on me is like on my finger, and I don't think that was like a death, unless it was like by a snake. Could have been a snake. I don't know. It's very small, but the one on my chest constantly makes me like think about like that could have been a bullet. That could have been like one of the ways one of my
That's what
past
makes
lives
me
died.
that's what makes me think about like this one. I think it was either like a bullet or a stick, or like steak or sword. I mean, I don't know, fighting.
Uh,
Like I said, whatever crazy dimension. If we're talking about past dimensions, is a whole nother thing. I can't even, like, I'm actually really bad at, like, I absolutely hate it. Like the whole, like the
Thinking about
later,
like different timelines.
yeah, and like how in all the Marvel movies
Yeah,
they've been about the different timelines, and how that actually ticks me off.
there's
I'm like,
actually
no, you can't do, kind of like we said, you can't just undo things and go, but no, like my
yeah.
mind, it drives me crazy. So
There's actually a whole theory about if you ever have a dream where like you are about to die, but then you wake up, the theory is that that was one of your timelines and that you just witnessed that timeline's death.
like that, the
And
whole the timeline
I
thing is
think
like a
about that a
whole
lot
nother.
because in
I
high school I had a bunch of dreams of me falling off of buildings and then like abruptly waking up and like slamming my desk and then getting in trouble by the teacher. I think about that a lot. I was like, why are all my timelines jumping off buildings? What's happening in those timelines?
I
I
say
had one dream. I thought that I witnessed the death of, I guess, a timeline. I was like in like a cistern, like a sewer, and I was being chased by something. I never saw what it was, but it ended with me being like at a dead end because there was like bars and everything I couldn't get past, and whatever it was already coming around the corner, and so that timeline sucked. I feel real bad for that guy.
I can't
That
remember on the spot enough of like my dreams. I know I've had some like that though as well. But the whole multiple timelines thing is my brain can't really function
that's
thinking about
fair.
that. It completely just breaks because then nothing because then and that nothing means nothing. Like nothing means nothing. And if there's this endless like with Doctor Strange and all that's like the
Yeah,
best way to describe it, where they could jump through and they're going through all the different uh timelines
yeah,
and they're
different like dimensions
you're
and
technically
everything.
like a tree or like a blob or something in different dimensions. You're not always like even a human, and it's just like that stuff just break. My mind can't keep up. My mind just wants to give up. And it's like, nope,
Nope.
I'm done. I'm done with the thinking about existential
And
stuff.
that's what they claim is the sixth dimension. They say like the fourth dimension is like time, like understanding time and how it can affect everything. The fifth dimension is realizing that within the time there are other timelines and that they're all happening at the exact
Like
same
same
time
time, yeah.
yours is happening. And then they claim that the sixth dimension is you being able to observe all these timelines and then control them any way you want to. So
Yeah, that's all
it's
stuff
all
Marvel
speculation.
dabbles with
Yeah, it's all
its
speculation.
the
No
Doctor
scientist has ever
Strange,
been like, fact.
the whole multiverse thing. The latest Spider-Man, that was they went into a multiverse thing where there's a million different
It's,
Spider-Mans.
it's like a trend
And
now.
yeah, and like it's Marvel is pushing hard on it, man. Like, cause then they had the
They're
whole
gonna do it
Loki,
again in Doomsday.
the
The Nolan
whole
coming out now. They're gonna do it again.
and like that whole Loki series. That was
Yeah.
good. I did enjoy watching it, but that was about like yeah, the
That
timelines and
honestly,
trying to
honestly, the Loki series is probably the best example
eh,
of
probably
the sixth dimension
I can
of
agree, I
like
guess.
him seeing all the different timelines.
And then them having people going and erasing certain timelines and how
Yeah,
that works. So,
that
yeah,
would be like the
yeah,
best example of it.
I think so too. Like, in a way, but at the same time, it's still. I think that was the one I was the most okay with. But like I said, when I know when the Spider-Man movie did it, and all of the Avengers Endgame when it messed with the timelines and the how there's the Guardians of the Galaxy. What's that girl's name? How it's not even the same one anymore. It's one from a different
Oh yeah,
timeline or
right.
whatever.
And
That
she's
stuff,
just there
yeah,
now.
that all that stuff was just my mind's like, can I just have something like canon and straightforward and like
I know. I think about that the most.
I
Like
don't know. It's
if
very
you were to
confusing
like
and
fall into a timeline where like you're already dead and you're just like, I guess I'll live here. That's crazy. That's crazy. I could never
what's her
consider that
name? Like
thought.
Gamora or something like that?
Gamora,
Yeah. And like
you got it.
the one that stayed hates them again. Like
Yeah, she doesn't hate him in the newest movie, but she doesn't love him like the
like
other
the other
one
one.
did.
Yeah, the past her. Yeah. See, that stuff's all like it makes me frustrated.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else you want to add? Because I think I might have to wrap it up for tonight.
Yeah, we can wrap it up. We can save the rest of the stuff for like some other talk.
All right. I hope anyone who decided to watch with us today,
Yeah,
enjoyed this
definitely
talk
leave some
and
comments about any of your crazy dreams, any of your experiences of like reincarnation. I always love hearing about that stuff. Anything you got.
and
I love hearing
even the
about
multi
it.
timeline thing, even though it hurts my
Yeah,
brain and it frustrates me.
honestly,
If
I
you
love hearing about all that stuff.
if you guys have any opinions on that or any news to share or correct us if we were wrong on anything, because I at least definitely don't do it enough
Always open
research.
minded.
And yeah, I'm
If you
very
got
open minded
something,
and
let me hear it.
I wasn't reading anything out of, like I said, textbooks, so if I got something wrong or technically this is all, like, debatable if it's wrong or right, but,
Yeah, there's no
again,
facts here.
we're willing to listen. Willing to listen.
Always,
So
always love a good talk about stuff. Just the only thing I ask is don't just say God did it.
oh.
Give give me a talk. Come on, talk through. Don't just say God did it. Yeah, okay. I heard it a million times.
If you have a specific religion you prefer to believe over any of these concepts and stuff, that's fine too. Like I said,
I just love to talk about it.
as long as you would
I
like to
love to hear
talk
other people's
in
opinions.
detail and
Don't
be respectful. I I will not tolerate any people being mean to people. But we don't really have too many viewers right now. So in the future, at least if anyone,
if you're one of our future viewers and like we're super cool now and you come
yeah,
back
if
to
we
this
ever get
old video,
cool and you
you
come
can
back to
still comment. Still
yes,
comment on this and we'll still
just
see it and I'll still love it.
and the rule is just be respectful and descriptive because Mick needs
Yes.
some. He needs some
I want to hear
description.
your
Some
beliefs. I would love to hear your beliefs. Don't just give me candid copies. How do you feel about it? That's what I love. I love hearing about that kind of stuff. No matter what religion it is, even you can even be Satanism. I don't even care. As long as you explain to me how you see the world, I love it. Love it.
yeah, even atheists and stuff. I've always like nothing really offends me.
Yeah.
Yeah, same. As long as, like I said, as long as everyone's respectful about it and we're not just, and no one's like
Everybody
cursing
needs
anyone out
something
or
to believe
bullying
in.
anybody, we're cool if people choose to believe whatever they want to believe. But uh, yeah, go ahead and share your thoughts on the reincarnation and the
Yeah.
multiverse stuff, whatever you
And crazy dreams. If you got any
and,
crazy
and
dreams,
dreams. You
love
probably could have
hearing those
talked
too.
more about some dreams today, but um,
There'll be other talks.
we're at the what did we say for our little bus line? This is the last stop. We're
Thanks for
closing our
riding. Yeah.
doors. Thanks
This
for
is the
riding with
last
us.
stop. Thanks for riding.
See ya.
Bye.